Yo, what up, folks? Trev TCG back. Still under the weather a little bit. I said I had done my last run in the Explore Metagame Challenge with Grixis, but I'm still not very well. I can't do a ton. So I was like, well, there's a few hours left. There's 6 hours until the event closes. Let's take my favorite deck in Explorer for a spin. That is a Black Green Citadel. I made a couple of videos with it on the channel, so feel free to have a look at that. But because this is the current version I'm running, which is a little different from the last one I posted. And so, firstly, last time we were playing Gilded Gooses, I'm trying to just Spirit Sentinel just because you can while it's worse the first time you activate it, obviously activating it a second time, third time is often a lot easier than having to like take a turn off making making food or whatnot. And so it plays better over like the course of a longer game. Whereas Goose is really good if you're like the dream is mana guy, priest, mana guy, and then turn 2 you play priest, mana guy, and then turn 3 you cast Citadel. Right? And Gilded Goose is better in that situation. But that's not you're not reliably getting that. And so I think over the course of a game, your Spirit Sentinel is a little better for what we're doing. So 4 Elvish Mystic, 4 Animal 4 Spirit Sentinel on mana accelerants at 1. We then have Prosperous Innkeeper, which is both a mana accelerant and a combo piece, getting us towards Citadel, but then also giving us life gain, while kind of running through the combo. 4 Priest of Forgotten Gods, which is your best mana accelerant in the deck, funnily enough, but also obviously gives you game versus a bunch of different decks of the format with the sacrifice ability, and some card advantage too. And then 4 copies of Zoothport Cutthroat, added in from Explorer Anthology 2, gives you a sacrifice win condition that you didn't have before if you don't have Citadel, and it also gives you a nice way that requires less slots for you to kind of actually combo off with Citadel in general. And so you say, okay, cool, so you're going to make a joy Citadel, what's the actual combo? Warrior Strider is the other really important card. Warrior Strider lets you do is, because you can sacrifice a creature to scry 1, you get to control the top card of your library, keep putting lands and spells onto the bottom, keep casting creatures. Then between Zoothport Cutthroat and Prosperous Innkeeper, you're gaining life to keep casting creatures, and both the Citadel lets you cast creatures for life instead of mana. And then eventually you either sacrifice Citadel to kill them, or kill them with Zoothport Cutthroat, or play enough stuff. So if you have the Warrior Strider, you can control the top of your library, keep casting creatures, keep sacrificing them, getting triggers. Sometimes you're just playing a bunch of stuff at the top of your library, and sometimes you might not have the Warrior Strider, you might just be casting a few spells and being like, okay, I have to stop now. But the idea is you're playing Citadel on turn 3 if possible, and if not, you're kind of going for a kind of combo kill another way. Yeah, 4 copies of Warrior Strider, 1 copy of Veto, which is quite important for shooting down high life titles. It's something you don't have a problem with as much now you have Cutthroat, just because of the amount of triggers that you can collect. But Veto gives you some speed, kind of doubles up on, well, means that these Prosperous Innkeeper triggers deal damage, and these are the Cutthroat triggers basically do your opponent for 2 instead of 1. Doubles up there. Pretty handy. You're heading in the Sacrifice Outlet, kind of playing towards the Sacrifice game plan, and then 2 copies of Llanowar Visionary, which is a mana accelerant, which you can play off of your elves. That also draws you a card further towards getting Citadel or whatever. So this is another new initiative I'm trying. One thing I will say, obviously this is best of 3. If you're interested in playing this deck in best of 1, I think it's pretty good. You could try. I would suggest trying. I think it's Eye Twitch. Eye Twitch, which is the 1 mana learn creature, and you can play like a learn package there. Gives you another alternative angle, which can help you out quite a lot. But yeah, I'd consider trying that over some of the Visionaries and a couple of the Sentinels. See how that plays out for you. It's a bit of a free roll to try it out. See how you find it. But when I play the deck in best of 1, that's what I've been leaning towards. But at the minute, just trying Llanowar Visionary out as an accelerant that draws you cards too. Because finding the Citadel is the most important thing. You'll note also that we've cut the eyes, the tutor, just because it's a little slow. Like, the deck's trying to be very fast. Kind of puts it on turn 3. Sacrificing a creature, you actually don't, because you're playing towards the sacrifice game plan now. Reducing your board to find the Citadel is often either too slow or too damaging. You're sacrificing something you need to have, whether that be mana to cast the Citadel, or one of your combo pieces. So you have to be a little careful with that. And so, out they go. And we're playing, being more consistent here. So, Then the mana base, 4 everyone team, full Animal Race, full Double Cathway, full Blooming Marsh. You need triple black for Citadel. Obviously, some of these cards help you with that. Another advantage is Spirit Sentinel, I guess. And then a Forest, a Besagi, Attackadium, and a Swamp. Sideboard also looks a little bit different. So the 4 Thought Seizers, pretty standard. Combo decks, something. Combo decks, control decks. You want to sequence this so you can take a counter spell before you play a Citadel. Shaper Sanctuary versus like mid range if they're trying to kill your stuff. Sorry, my voice is really shot. 3 copies of Reclamation Sage. Again, things like Fires, Enigmatic Incarnation, anything where they're playing enchantments or temporary lockdown. You bring it in against like blue-white control as well, because temporary lockdown takes all your stuff and exiles it. Then, to kind of combat Greasefang, instead of playing Scavenging Users, which are a little situational and slow in the matchup, I've actually gone straight full for 4 copies of Flame and the Void. These are the only cards you bring in there. And then lastly, 2 copies of Vivian, again, control decks, more mid-rangey stuff, where you're just gonna, it lets you cast your it has the Citadel effect letting you cast creatures off the top of your library. Obviously, you have to pay mana, but also just makes beasts by itself. It's a sizable threat by itself. So, this is, I think, my favorite deck in Explorer. If you're looking interested in like other ways to build a deck, I've got another couple of different videos on it as well. Previously, we were playing like the Explore package with like Wandering, Wild Growth Wanderer, and like J-Light Ranger and Murphy Branch Walker. Before Zoo the Book Right, but I think this kind of replaces that. You can still actually play parts of that shell, but there's a lot of slots in the deck. Yeah, and the less of those like 12 cards you run, the worse the rest of them get. So, so we are. So, hang on a second. So, let's hop into games. See how it goes. My one concern is that as kind of the event ticks down, I think there's like 3 hours left to enter, 3 hours, and then a further 3 hours left to play. Obviously, there are going to be less opponents around. See how we do. So far, fairly disappointing in terms of the runs we've had. Like, I can't remember if we did 0-1-1. We definitely had some 1-1s. I get to be on the play, which is nice. No accelerants, but we do have Voice Rider and Company, which is good versus a number of decks. I think I do keep this. Obviously, it's slow. There are decks that can definitely punish us this time. The advantage of something like Black-Green Citadel is that versus uninteractive decks, kind of more linear strategies, of which it is in itself a linear strategy, but something like Green, for example. Ooh. Looks like Goblins, I think. Oh man, I mean to put... We do actually draw a 2-drop to play with the Priest. I mean to make a video of Goblins again for a while. I have one way back when, which you can go and look up. And to be honest, the deck's not changed much, which is why I haven't made a new video on it. But yeah, I'm not gonna sack that away. Immediately pressure. Now, this is interesting. We can't give our opponent too much. They sacrifice the Charger. The problem is if they have like a Scout Prospector, this is going to snipe some of our creatures anyway. We can't play the put Cutthroat with this in play. So I think we go Roast Rider, activate Priest, see what they sacrifice. Both these cards are actually really, really important. Battlecry Goblin not only lets you pump your goblins, but then lets you get this trigger to get an extra goblin that's attacking. And it actually adds up very, very quickly. They're going into 3 lands here, and if they have like land a 1-drop, then can activate this. They all get haste as well as the +1/+0, and so all of a sudden they're attacking you for like 8. And it adds up very quickly. We can't really let this happen, so we're happy with them sacrificing either of these. We actually want to get this Firebase Charger off the battlefield to let us play the Super Cutthroat, and then next time we can Company activate Priest. There it goes. They're going to shoot us. That's fine. We're going to make it the Cutthroat, which we want to live. Because once with this in play, we can't activate this because the Cutthroat just dies. Oh well. We can't play this until we've got this off the board. There is another thing that's worth doing. Okay, they don't have a Chain Whirler. Chain Whirler also pretty big stonks out of the Goblin deck. I would actually hugely recommend like the Goblin deck. There are some rares, but there are some rares, but a lot of the deck is quite cheap, and you might well have parts of it lying around already. Ooh, Firebrand's pretty good. I'll put up to this here. We're kind of under pressure to keep activating Priest, because this deck can kill you very, very quickly. We're going to main phase of Company here. So we hit Cutthroat. Cutthroat is actually not great. Yeah, we can go cutthroat, and not activate. I think this is actually fine. And then let's set up for next turn. We should fade like another firebrand or something like that off the top. Now we're letting our opponent tap. So if they have like a, it's like this in itself is fine. But even just this, they can. Oh, they have another land. No. No, 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 no. They have to activate before they get the extra goblin. But if they activate, they can activate now. And then, because the goblin off of here will also pump the Foundry Street Denizen. This makes me sad because goblins is just another one of my favorite decks in the format. Let's just check. 3, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Block the little guy. But you can see just how fast, well, how explosive the goblins that can be. This is without any of the lords or anything like that as well. Right. We want a graveyard. Okay, we have to company from hand. My turn. Jury company. This Bosage's not up to anything. We're pretty well forced to main phase this. We want to end up with some blockers. Visionaries. Well, Innkeeper will draw us a card. Oh, Innkeeper lets us double Coco, which I like a lot. Let's go Innkeeper Visionary then. Get a life here. The treasure lets us cast company again. At the price of activating this now. Oh, we can do it on their turn. Is that better though? They get to. Oh, we get to block. I can activate that way. No, because we need to block. Do this. This is sacrificing the Innkeeper. We still get one set of pull cut 3 triggers, which I think is solid. We'd rather have the Innkeeper in play. Sorry, one set of double triggers off of Cutthroat, I mean. The sacrifice, the Dennis. Yeah, that's the prospect that lets you kind of combo off with Fireblade Charger. Super, super handy. Oh, drawing Voice Rider is actually really sick as well. If we cast Voice Rider, we're kind of doing it by itself. Is that safer though? So we cast Voice Rider, we get blockers for everything. We're waiting to company next turn, we get to scry a little, maybe hit a Citadel. At this point, we're not really looking to Citadel kill. We're not dead here, I think we do. Yeah, we hit the other Voice Rider anyway, so we'll take that. And there's a book Cutthroat as well. I should double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, we'll pass. Oh, am I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they're on 1. Alright. Okay, again, let's let some attack with Lord Pumped and stuff. They know they're kind of in some trouble. I'm not gonna add. Okay, maybe they. So this makes a creature token as well. See, if they're attacking into the Voice Rider, then actually. They're in a really rough spot. You have to remember that this also, whenever a goblin dies, they get to exile top card. We know the top card currently is a mountain. So there's some stuff we want to keep alive. This one will block something big. Obviously, they can still pump. We kind of have to respect that. Probably gonna put the Innkeeper under one of these. Probably just block like this. That way, we're not giving them. We're not exiling any cards off their library to give them extra draws. And then here we can scribe it. See what they want to do. So yeah, I do think Goblins is underrated. I think that it'd be like a pretty decent tier 2 deck if it was just played more. As it is, I think it's like tier 2 effectively, but like no one plays it. Like to be fair, there's kind of infinite tier 2 decks in. We'll set the token first. Part of the reason I love the format, honestly. So many things that are viable. West Rider is good, but we have one already and one in the yard. We'll scratch the bottom. Obviously, if we can find a Citadel, that's obviously. But to be fair, if we untap and cast a creature spell, we win the game. But, yeah. I will probably not. I'm going to put this on top. I probably won't cast it because we don't need to. I'd rather not give our opponent any information going into game 2. Alright, so they're going to exile so they can see something. Ooh, they can't give this haste, otherwise they could maybe... I guess they can give it haste. There's a sacrifice one goblin, they can give it haste. And they have to sacrifice another goblin to get the mana to activate it. And they can maybe snipe down into the pull cutthroat. Danger, danger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll see, we'll see. They're thinking about it, they're thinking about it. What are we going to do? You have to sacrifice 2 goblins to do it, but I think they're fairly certain they're dead if they don't. Actually, normally they actually sacrifice the Battlecry goblins, so they can't give it haste. Oh, that's big. They can now sacrifice this to snipe one of these. Maybe we will cast it now. To be fair, we got Priest of the Forgotten Gods as well. I'm gonna. Yeah, the mana to do. Oh no, it's more damage. Yeah, yeah. They can actually snipe the Voice Strider. That'd be fine though. From if I was on their side, I think you kind of have to snipe one of the cutthroats because both the other things sacrifice creatures. We got a 5. They're looking for another one. This is where like the Goblin deck has quite a lot of play to it. Even this Instigator here is going to make another creature. They get another couple of tries to look for an out. This being 3 mana kind of puts a stop to that a little. They could just sacrifice it. Get another mana towards it. Which is what I expect them to do. Hey, from our side, they're pretty firmly dead now. They can still play some stuff, right? They're going to attack to itself. They see the Rubble Bout guy. They're just going to make the Horde Reef. That gives them haste, but we'll unsay it. You draw the Citadel, it's just double the maths. Or, let's make a Waste Rider. I'll shock myself to make the Vito as well. You can see kind of what that's up to. We're probably going to board it out here, to be honest. So you see for each book of the trigger, the Veto does an extra damage. That'll do it. Alright, so that's just Goblins. I don't think we have a lot. Like, we don't want any of... We basically don't want any of these cards. Which is a little awkward. We have to think a little bit about what they're going to bring in. These Shaper Sentries might actually be fine. Depending on what to cut. The video really isn't up to much. The life link could potentially be relevant. Like, I'm very much like, alright, we can't want to cut this. How to say At the same time, like, is there anything else we want to cut? I don't think so. I think it should be fairly good matchup wise. Thoughtseize is an interesting one. Obviously, can put out damage on very quickly, but there are some kind of not silver bullet cards, but kind of, I don't know, the next goal or redundancy to it. There are a couple of cards that are super important, whether that be Snoop or obviously the Lord. It's not really worth it. I'm gonna put Shaper Sentry in, which lets us draw cards if they like try and snipe off our guys. But I kind of want to bring in a second one. What do you think again? I think Sentinel's like not sick, but we'll do this. As far as cards on that go, when you're sideboarding, like things to look at cutting are like the veto. If it's a matchup where you're definitely not going to use it and it's not really doing much, it's not like it can be okay in racing situations, I guess, but it's really there to shoot down things like angels, which can end up with like you can end up killing like an angels player from like 80 life or something like that. There's some debate about whether it should still be in the deck at all now we use the book right. I'll be honest. I think it's good enough still. We'll keep this. We have Citadel. There's how much interaction they have. Firebrand's an unfortunate one. Like, we're gonna have to play out our elf here. But it's gonna shoot one of these two things, so I guess it'd rather be the elf in this case. Yeah. Between this and Fireblade Charger, there's some pretty good cards versus this. I'm not going to block because our plan is to go turn 2 Ghost Rider. But a lot like if we had to keep the Elvish Mystic in play for much longer, then I guess if they played Lord and then do the Elvish Mystic. Oh. This now kills everything. Right? I guess I'm going to look for company here. The second Citadel is not it. So this Chain Whirler takes all O1s and then also will let the Firebrand trade with the Ghost Rider. It's unfortunate. Down the bottom as well. They didn't leave it in play. Surely they're gonna. Okay, yeah, there you go. Then this loop should come across the 2. We untapped Numa. Making a Waste Rider. This is block and scribe, so that's good. We're like, with that amount of accelerant, we're 3 turns away. Gassy set. This is the best time to draw a collected company. We'll see though. I know they have 1 Lord. Prospector. Yeah. Let's say getting the Prospector in play is quite big in general. It opens the window to a lot of stuff for the Goblin deck. Especially with the new, well, I say new Lord. It's from Dominary. An interesting one. A tough matchup, to be honest. Yeah, Chain Whirler, Fanatic, and okay. We've Cutthroat in hand, so we are like, so if we get to Scrytle's company, great. If not, we're like Cutthroat, then we're blocking next turn. Are we gonna get to block next turn? This takes us down to 10. I think we are. Block up a bit here. I would like to see my top card. It's too late for this, I think. Shape percentage drawing us cards when we're on the verge of dying is I want Overgrown Tomb. Let's hang on. Well, this is pretty tough. Probably going to see a game 3 here, I'd imagine. Alright. Yeah, they do have so many silver bullets. I'm glad I brought the second copy of Shape of Sanctuary in. If we saw it earlier, obviously it would have been pretty nice. Though, to be fair, it doesn't do anything unless it's a chain whirler itself. Right, Hobgoblins here. Firebrand. Oh. Cool. Maybe they should attack here instead of sacrificing. No, because then it blocks 2 damage. Though, to be fair, you get to keep the Firebrand in play. They're just going to go to combat. Now, I would like to live. 3, 6, 10, 14. I just want to find like a collecting company. I'll put this here. Sacrifice away. I'm trying to think if they have a way of finding equal damage. Fortunately, this is on top of the library, not in play. Llanowar Elf is not going to do it. Alright. Let's see. We're going to go to 4 here. Now... I'm sorry. Let's go to game of 3. Okay. What are you thinking? I like the Shape of Sanctuaries. I think we actually do want all the mana, guys. The Spirit Sentinel is one that doesn't die to get Chain Whirler. It's actually kind of nice. But I don't want to be cutting the Elvish Mystic. Anyway, we just need to be super, super fast. Trim Visionary, like... But the game's not going super long. If the game goes super long, they're gonna be able to put enough power and creatures and go wide enough that, or draw enough like removal. Not gonna get there. I don't know actually. I think Visionary. You roll back with this, yeah. All right, you might have some interesting choices to make. We'll play. So we have Mystic, and then Company. If we get to casting companies, we're in a good spot. So I'm gonna keep this, but we are very much in danger of never getting to do this. So we want them to not have Fanatical Firebrand here. It's points like this where I'm like, I really wish we had Leyline of Vitality. Which is slightly biased because I play a lot of elves as well. But it's the the old green ley line. It says creatures you control get +0/+1. And then whenever you cast a creature spell, gain a life. Alas, it's not there. We are going to get shot down. Unless Skep's it. Alright, well. This could be an unfortunate run. Oh dear. Yeah, we post everything we record, and to be honest, getting to see the Goblins deck is pretty sick. Because it's not something you don't do very often. Oh, the Wombo combo, no, not like this. Oh, we don't have a land anymore. Oh dear. This is what you call how they drew it up. Alright, War Chief, we're gonna go down to 16 here. Again, like, so far I'm not killing us very quickly, but this next turn's gonna be very telling. Okay, this was like the turn we needed to draw land. We got there. So we'll see what the rest of their hand looks like. Oh gosh. Okay. They have Battlecry Goblin? Yeah, alright. Oh, it's cheaper because of the War Chief too. Oh my gosh. The disaster. This doesn't make the ability cheaper. didn't even think about it. We are so dead. Battlecry Goblin pumping actually makes this big enough to shoot down the Voice Rider, which is actually kind of sick. Well, we've had a bit of an embarrassing run of metagame challenges, but it is what it is. Yep. There we go. We are. I guess. We are effectively completely dead. They expect this size. Oh, they got a squee. That's kind of sick. Alright. I was like, maybe we should sacrifice that to draw, but kind of we need to hit a cut with the company or we're dead. And to be honest, Guide to Company, I don't think we have a way out anyway. Sorry, we need to hit a land for Guide to Company or we're dead. Because we don't have any, like... There's no, like, Chupacabra style effects that we can company into. Let's see. We're at 6. Not gonna do it. Good game, sir. And there you have it. We got stomped by Goblins. Which is, to be fair, a bad matchup and not one we run into very much, but it is really cool to see the Goblins deck come out to play. So, hey, we love that, we love that. Hope you're having good holidays. I am not sure if I'm posting... I'm not exactly sure when this is going to get posted. The Explorer Metagame Challenge, I think, will be over and done with. But, yeah. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. If you're deck you want to see me play, I have a few things kind of still kind of in the back pocket in terms of things I want to get played. I thought I'd have one more stab at the metagame challenge with Green Black Citadel, as it's again my favourite deck in the format, I think. And I think it's well positioned at the minute versus like green and stuff. But you see more kind of aggro decks in the metagame challenge because they attract more people. And a lot of people for people who aren't like regularly playing Explorer, you're just like, oh, I want to put that together. It is a little easier that way. As it is though, have a great day, have a great time. All the best to you and yours and all that stuff. And take care. Peace out.